Hello, Planet Perry. We have a very special treat for you today. We've got a thriving brick and mortar business that does not have the advantage of they are not manufacturing COVID masks, and they are not manufacturing ventilators, and they are not they're not selling video games or anything like that. It's a pizza restaurant. So we're going to get to that in a few minutes. Meanwhile, Brian has some preliminaries. So Brian, what do you got?
Yeah, today's session is one I was thinking literally 7 months ago that we ought to do, and I'm glad we're doing this. So more on that in a second. Lots and lots and lots of new folks are joining New Renaissance Club in the last couple months, and so this is a really good time. If you're brand new to New Renaissance, want to welcome you. You've come to a great place with some really good people who care about the same things you do and have kind of a unique set of values and unique, interesting view on the world. So welcome to Perry Marshall's New Renaissance Club. I want to remind you that you get all kinds of good perks and benefits with your membership. Obviously, you know, we're doing topical webinars just like this one. Last Friday, Perry was in the forum answering direct questions from people. I'll also mention this: when COVID-19 first exploded in the US, there was, of course, panic and upheaval, all kinds of stuff. And that was true in Planet Perry too, but Perry took time out and did office hours for New Renaissance members. He did a bunch of sessions of that. And if you are not a member, you miss out on those things. And if you stay in, you get to enjoy them when they happen. And so, you know, benefits of being in New Renaissance just multiply. You may have seen the print version of the newsletter. It may have shown up in your your physical mailbox. If it hasn't, go look. There's just some wonderful material in there. I'll mention this month's newsletter talks about current events in 2020, you know, coronavirus, your business, so on and so forth. It also talks about some ideas and concepts going back literally 2,900 years. And so your Perry Marshall newsletter is a mix of new challenges and old wisdom. And by the way, if you read the newsletter, then you're going to learn two surprising things that I like to do in my spare time. Never thought I'd read about myself in the newsletter like that, but it's in there, so there you go. So go check it out. Also, if you have not been over to our Google group, which is our forum, then you need to do that. You can introduce yourself. And the best way to get activity is to say, hey, I put up this web page, what do you think? Or, hey, I'm about to send out this email, what do you guys think? And watch everyone pile on and give you comments and criticisms and helpful suggestions and so forth. And that's one of the best and fastest ways you can make use of the forum. If you do not know about New Renaissance 12, you need to know about New Renaissance 12 because it is a great deal that gets you great deals. It's buying a year of New Renaissance all at once. You get $200 off what a full membership would normally cost you, and you get all kinds of discounts on all kinds of products and promotions, multiple ones every month, quite frankly, and it pays for itself really super fast. So go to perrymarshall.com/new-renaissance to learn about that. Darren, want to check, make sure you've been able to make it on.
Brian, I think I'm here.
Hey.
Hi,
I think you are here. So I had a chance to meet Darin Spindler last October at our roundtable. Perry's known him for quite some time. But Darren talked about his restaurant in Green Bay, Wisconsin, Go Packers. And it was fascinating and interesting how he runs it. He does localism with a capital L. And now it's just become more interesting because his business happens to be thriving in the middle of a global pandemic. So Perry, why don't you say a little more about Darren?
Yeah, so Darren is in a mastermind group that I attend. And I have said for years, I wouldn't be caught dead not in a mastermind group. And I am completely serious about that. I think those of you who are not part of a mastermind are praying for rain and standing on the garden hose. And so I go to get my ass kicked every 4 months, and as just like our roundtable members do. And so I had Darren come in to speak to my roundtable last fall, and it was extraordinary. They loved it, and he's a serial entrepreneur. He used to own a fitness gym. He has a big, thriving, interesting business called Kids Bowl Free. He's invested in various interesting startups. He's done some other businesses that I probably don't even know about. He is an Ironman. He's a repeat Ironman athlete, and he has a pizza company in Green Bay, Wisconsin, called Heartland Pizza Company. And you know, most like serial entrepreneurs from our world would not think that a pizza restaurant was the place to go make a huge prosperous living. But not only is he doing very well, I found out through private channels that his restaurant was doing near record numbers lately, and I was like, okay, that's all I need to hear. I'm getting Darren in front of Renaissance Club. So, in addition to the office hours calls and having people like Casey Graham, who's on last week, you get people like Darren, who are not easy to get. So, Darren, you're on.
Perry,
Darren's camera is not working. I'm going to turn off my camera, and we're just going to talk and show the slides. And welcome, Darren.
Perry, thank you. I don't even have a web audio at this point. I had to dial in. I'm not sure what in the world's happening here, but something weird with my GoToMeeting on my computer today. So thank you for the invite. So. Awesome. I'm glad you can hear me now. So first off, you know, one of the things that I think will be instructive here for folks, and I think maybe they're going to have to stick to the end for some of the more, quote, tactical stuff, because I think, Perry, one of the things that people often want to start with is the tactics, and they don't take enough time to step back and think bigger strategic moves. And one of the things that has always intrigued me over the years is, you know, people talk a lot about culture and vision, but as an entrepreneur, it's often like, hey, let's get the next landing page up. Let's get, you know, 100 more leads or 1,000 more leads or 10,000 or a million more leads in our bucket, and we're going to generate revenue without thinking about, let's have a vision for our company that makes it much easier to operate the company day to day than does it if you just go from tactic to tactic. And what I'm going to start with is going to be our vision document, which really helps us set the tone for everything else that we do. And, you know, one of the things that you said, just so people understand, is in the month of March, we had our best month ever with 15 days of takeout and delivery only. And the month of April was up 38.9%. I just checked it this morning, year over year, with 100% of those days being takeout or delivery. Normally, we have a dining room that seats 100. We have a party room that can seat 75 or 80, and no bar for 30 days. And we were still up, up in a significant way, right?
I hope people are listening to this. This is crazy.
It is. Wow. But what I want to do is share with folks how we've been able to really rally the community around us and create a culture that both our team loves coming to work, and one so unique that your community falls in love with you too, because that's really what this is about. So we created this vision document, and Perry, what I'm going to do is I will email this over to you guys, and I'll be happy to share it with people that are members so they can go through this slowly with their own team members and create their own document, because this takes some time. This is, I would say, probably dozens of hours of my time put into this document. But 3 years later, like, I have a GM over there right now, and she's great. And I rarely even have to be in on many of the decisions on a day-to-day basis now, because they've got this document that guides them. and it guides every decision. So what I'll do is I'll share this document kind of in pieces. But basically, it starts with at Heartland Pizza Company, we believe in serving our guests amazing food, from scratch foods that they'll love, foods they'll find interesting, foods they'll be excited to post on Facebook, Instagram, and other social media to help grow our super fan base, our regulars. Our team is made up of unique individuals of diverse backgrounds, but we're united by a belief in serving great food with a delightful attitude. We are funny, we are quirky, and we are kind. We are kind to both our guests and each other. We are kind and generous to our community. We often participate and promote fundraisers and community events. We are committed to making our community a better place and are committed to raising funds for causes large and small. We make an effort to find locally sourced foods that meet our high standards for both aesthetics of our foods and taste. We believe that we treat our vendors with respect and build relationships that will allow both our vendors and Heartland to succeed. Because our team is educated, we can educate our guests about the foods we're serving and introduce them to new flavors and interesting combinations of food they would not have tried on their own. Every time we create a new dish or a dessert, we must believe that it will be leaps and bounds above what they could cook for themselves at home. So let me, Perry, just share a couple examples in this first 5 or 6 paragraphs, literally this week, of how this all kind of works together. So today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, we are giving 15% of all of our sales to feed people on the front line of the coronavirus situation on Thursday. So yesterday or Sunday night, we created a quick live video. We said, hey, here's what we're going to do Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday this week. And if you dine with us, 15% of all the sales are going to go to a pizza fund, basically, to feed people on Thursday. And then we're going to deliver food to these frontline workers on Thursday. So within minutes of me posting that, I got 4 offers for people to deliver pizzas for us on Thursday. We had people pre-ordering pizzas already. These are guests, super fans, that reached out to us to deliver the pizzas.
Wow.
So, you know, they're buying into what we're doing. The other thing is, right now, who's not getting paid? Most of the vendors, right? So one of the things that's important to us is we haven't missed a singular payment or pushed anybody off with our vendors. And I certainly believe that when this is over, they're going to remember who paid them on time and who shortchanged them, right?
Yeah, you think?
So, and the other thing that we've done is we haven't had one person who has been laid off. We've kept every person working that's wanted to work, with the exception of people who might be at risk because they had like asthma, or for instance, one of the people works for the Green Bay Packers and they are not allowing people to work if you work for the Packer organization because they don't need that brought into their organization. So outside of circumstances beyond our control, we've kept everybody working. We actually turned our waitresses into delivery drivers. And I'm going to tie this together with our 5-star experience. But one of the things that we did is we went out and invested in these $200 heated delivery bags, so that now when you get a delivery from us, you're coming in a heated delivery bag at 200 or 175 degrees, I think it is instead of one of the cheap ones that all the other delivery companies and every other pizza place in town will deliver in. So our goal is to take lemons and make them lemonade in every which way we can.
Darren,
So
I'll
that
just
kind of-
comment. In the age of doing takeout, which we're all doing nowadays, if we're getting any food from outside our home at all, there have been quite a few meals I brought home and eaten at my table where I'm like, I could have done better if I had just made it myself. And I really appreciate what you said about making, serving food that is head and shoulders better than what people can do themselves. I really like that.
Or the restaurant that doesn't, they give you a whole bunch of these little cartons of stuff and they don't label any of it.
No.
That too. Well, here's one of the other things, so one of the little tips that we give people now with our pizza, because it's a thin crust, stone fired pizza, and there's a couple things. If you cut a pizza, what happens, Perry? Number one, you get heat escapes, right? Because as soon as you cut it, the heat escapes. Number two, you put that heat inside of a box with the moisture, it makes the middle soggy. So one of the tips that we also now give people is, and we actually figured it out on our point of sale system. If you go on our website and try and order pizza, we actually have an option that you can do no cut, so that you don't cut the pizza. You take it home, put it in your oven, and we tell people now, put it in your oven, preheat it before you order, 400 to 500 degrees. When you get it from us, put it in your oven, and then reheat it, cut it. It'll be super crisp, won't be soggy, and you're gonna love it. So like all these little details that no other place is thinking about, we're trying to think about. So stuff like that is what has helped us do what we're doing. The next piece of this is our marketing. So marketing is the fuel that drives our company. And this is, remember, this document is a document they get after they go through about a 5 or 6 step hiring process. So this, we're telling them about our marketing on day one, literally before they get punched in for the first time. So marketing is the fuel that drives our company. Our marketing efforts will all be measurable. We'll hold all of our advertising dollars accountable. We're scrappy and we use a lot of grassroots marketing techniques to make our dollars go further. We believe in having fun with our marketing. People will talk about our marketing to be something that creates super fans. Our marketing must tell a story, which includes high quality and unique flavors of our food. It must tell a story of Heartland being a place that's fun and a place that wants to be a great community partner. Because of this, we'll use our tools like our email list, social media accounts to communicate with our guests. We'll use as many tools like online videos, photographs, and more to share our story. We'll also utilize tools like direct mail, newspaper, and more to share our story. We'll look for opportunities that can be the basis for a news story or create unique news of our own. We're a bit quirky, and that's okay. Because we're not boring and we're active marketers, we're frequently asked to appear on shows like Cooking with Amy, Fox 11's Morning News, 5 Alive, and more. One of our most important assets is our birthday club. It's the hub of our customer database, and we build our email and mailing list from this. Each week, we can then communicate offers and build the number of super fans we have. And then we participate in events like the Farmers Market Taste on Broadway, so we can showcase our foods to new guests, and it gives us an ability to connect with our current guests outside of our building. By attending these events, we cement our reputation as a solid community partner. We expect and encourage our food to be photographed, shared on Instagram, Facebook, Google, Yelp, TripAdvisor, and social media platforms. Because of this, it's all of our responsibility to double and triple check the food that we present to our guests. It is okay for it's okay for team members to ask for a remake of any item they feel is not acceptable to leave the kitchen. It is not okay for a kitchen team member to be upset upon this request. Our goal here is to serve amazing food every time. So with our marketing, we work very hard to get on TV. So as an example, this is another good example. So when you want to try and get on TV, you got to give the folks a story, right, Perry?
That's
so
right.
We last week, or it's probably 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks old now, we went and found this coronavirus killing sanitizer, and we shot a live video with it, and next day, phone call to go do TV. It didn't cost me anything. I put my Facebook post up with my live video. And one thing I'll tell people is if you're not doing Facebook live videos, you're off your rocker. You need to be doing video because people connect with you and they can see your emotion. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You just got to show people. And I'm going to show you some of the other screenshots of videos I've done before. Some of them, my best ones, are ones where I hadn't shaved. I got my hat on backwards. I don't look like the owner of the restaurant. I look like some dude in the kitchen. But people have come to know us. They love us. And because we're authentic, they connect with us. But our email list now, we have 20,000 families in our database, which comprises over 40,000 birthdays. So every single day, you can divide out 365 by 40,000. X number of people get a free birthday pizza from us. It drives traffic into the restaurant. That traffic fills up tables, and then it just continues to build upon itself. The other thing I mentioned there was our food and photography. We actually, and this will tie to another one of our core tenets later, is we actually hired a professional photographer to come in and record a course with our team on food photography. and it's actually in our training portal for our team members. And if you go follow along our food photos, our team does beautiful photography. I do none of it, and anything I do is not nearly as good as what the team does. So they control all the photos and everything else over there. But photography is such a big thing for restaurants now, and folks that don't get that right are making a big mistake. The next thing is we pay attention to the details. We come to work every day with a great attitude, and our guests constantly leave us 5-star reviews on the major review sites. One of the most common things they mention is our serving staff and how much fun they seem to be having, even during busy shifts. We are committed to providing a 5-star experience on every visit. We look for opportunities to interact with our guests, making their visit more fun. Because we expect to have our team deliver, and we're serious about getting this right, the manager and/or founder will have their direct Heartland Pizza Company phone number published on the menu, and ask guests to report both good news and areas we can improve upon. If you go on our website and download our PDF menu, my phone number, my fake phone number, is on the bottom of the menu, but it is an actual cell phone number, and people text me, and I will tell you, I probably get 10-to-1 positive over negative, but that's because we work at this every day. But what other restaurant puts the founder's phone number on the bottom of the menu? Not many. We also recognize that guests can always see and hear what's happening in our restaurant. Because of this, it's doubly important that we make sure that we watch what we say. We think about the conversations we're having in open spaces. How many times do you go in a restaurant and you hear all the people complaining about their life outside of work? When we have an issue, we address it with our management team or founders in private before or after a shift. We can debate and argue with each other, not to disagree, but to collaborate and create a creative environment. We don't gossip. We are a team, and we play together to win together. It takes all of us to win. Yeah.
Question for you now. I'm still looking at the same page on screen.
Yeah. So I have I only screenshotted the first one.
Okay.
And then I'm going to give you all 6 pages of this. Is that all right?
Super. That's great. That's great. We just wanted to make sure we weren't missing something.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a PDF of the whole thing.
Perfect.
Super.
So we don't gossip. Oh, that we already did that one. When we fall short, we apologize. We make it right on the spot. When possible, the manager on duty should also have a conversation with the guest. But every team member has the ability to make any situation right. If you have to pay for their sodas, give them ice cream, or even buy their pizzas, that's what we do. We trust our team to make it right for the guest without having to get a manager to approve any proactive action that makes the guest happy. Because the last thing you want to do when somebody's unhappy is go find a manager on Friday night at 7 o'clock when the manager's all busy too, you know? Because we do what's right always, we're respected by our guests, even when we fall short of our high standards. I will tell you, I get a lot of messages in my inbox. For instance, if a guest has a normal, awesome experience, and for instance, maybe they get a delivery or a takeout that wasn't what they normally would expect, they reach out to me. They don't go blast us on Yelp. We then send them a gift card for a $20 or $25 pizza, and they're super happy. It costs us like $5. But because this is our proactive action in every situation, we don't end up with a bunch of Yelpers. We still have a couple of those knuckleheads, but we don't end up with the mass of them, you know? We're not just a restaurant. We're a place to connect in the community. We consider Heartland a little slice of old school social networking. We work to make Heartland like Cheers, and unfortunately now you got to tell the kids to go Google Cheers and watch a couple episodes in order for them to understand what it's all about. And make an effort to truly know our guests. They aren't just another number to us or another table. They are our guests. Then we go into training. Training, we educate our team about food, finance, and marketing. We build a team that respects each other, the leadership, and its founders. It's a team effort to reach our goals. So then we go into a little bit more. We don't operate like a typical restaurant. We respect our team and expect the same in return. You'll find it refreshing that we aim to have our work schedules out at least 2 weeks in advance. For anybody who's worked in the restaurant industry, oftentimes it's 2 hours. So somebody that gets it 2 weeks is much more appreciative. We don't have infighting between our kitchen and front of house. Many team members are trained to work both behind the scenes in the kitchen, out on our floor serving our guests. And we actually now integrated mandatory front of house training and back of house training for all team members so that they understand, like the pizza line, what goes into getting them a pizza in a hurry on a Friday night at 7 o'clock so that they're not sitting there tapping their fingers if they're a server, because sometimes they don't understand there's 30 takeout pizzas going at the same time they want their 2 for their table. So that gives them early on in the game an understanding of what it takes to run the line. We have high expectations of each other to provide a great guest experience every time. This starts by being on time for shifts, including those that happen long before the first guests arrive at the restaurant. We understand being late causes others to pick up the slack and puts us behind. We believe in the Lombardi rule, 5 minutes early is late. We are firm but fair. We're here to operate a successful business and not an adult babysitting service. We provide opportunities to learn and grow. We'll share tools with the team members, including books, industry magazines, online coaching events, and more. We provide upward growth opportunities that are especially important as we look to open additional locations. Perry, something I'll share about this learn and grow thing. Over the last month, we have certified every one of our 16, 17, and 18-year-old kids to be ServSafe, kitchen certified. So we paid to make sure that happened. So every one of our team members, not just one per restaurant, which is what many do. We also, like I said, we hired a professional photographer to come in for a day, create a course all about photography. And our kids and our adults that work for us love it. But how many restaurants provide those types of learning opportunities? Our best team members are lifelong learners. They're curious. They want to know more about food that we serve. They want to learn new techniques for creating unique and amazing food. We go on field trips to local breweries to learn more about the brewing process of the craft beers we serve. We take field trips to the local farm to see how they raise their cattle, chicken, and vegetables. This knowledge allows us to speak with our guests with passion and create fascination with our foods. We also bring in vendors to provide us ongoing training with the new products we serve. We just rolled out an entirely new wine menu like the week before this all happened. And our wine vendor came in and he's doing training with our team all about the different wines because we were weak in that area. So that's an area that we've made significant progress. We know that servers that learn more, earn more. Servers who know the process of how to build pizzas from the ground up will earn significantly more. Because of this, they take great interest in learning our sauces, ingredients, process for making the dough and dressings. Servers that can quickly talk with guests about each pizza, their unique flavor, and heartland facts will leave a lasting impression on our guests. Because of this, they'll be tipped more and create more return visits. We know that a kitchen crew is constantly learning and discovering new flavors will make our guests want to return more. We're constantly on the hunt for interesting and new food combinations that will keep our superfans talking about us. It's important for all of our team members to look for places to find unique foods. YouTube, Netflix, Pinterest are just a few. A few shows I've enjoyed include Chef's Table, Zero Dreams of Sushi on Netflix. You'll discover beautiful cinematography and attention to detail that we expect at Heartland. Because of this attention to detail in menu development, marketing, serving our guests, Heartland Pizza Company will be successful financially, and our team will also be successful. We believe that team members contribute to the Heartland Pizza Company by making suggestions on new pizza ideas, appetizers, and desserts on our big idea board, which will be the hub for posting ideas about marketing, food for our entire team to see. We believe that together, our collective minds are better than just the founders or management. Heartland is a team, and we all have ideas that could make us more fun, interesting, and exciting. Team members will work towards receiving the Heartland Pizza Company diploma. In the course, each team member will learn about culture, proper food safety, standard operating procedures, both front of house and back of house. And we'll celebrate our wins, which include winning awards like the Best in the Bay for pizza and others. We'll celebrate when we reach new goals and then set new goals. And then growth. We believe in growing through our people through coaching, training, and experiences. We also believe in growing our company to be profitable so each team member can be successful. In order to achieve this, we must be aware of systems in our kitchen so we don't waste food, use more toppings than our recipes call for that increase our costs. We must make sure we practice FIFO, first in, first out, and eliminate waste by over-prepping and throwing product out. Each time we don't practice FIFO and a product goes bad, it costs us all time and money. We must make sure that we are using our people wisely and not wasting hours. We are here to work. We look for ways to become more efficient and look for ways to save both time and money without sacrificing food quality and guest experience. And then we go into how many locations we want to grow and a few other basic things. But that's our vision document, and that quite clearly states everything that we're about, and it makes everything else that we're going to talk about much easier to make decisions on. Before we share this, Perry or Brian, you have any questions about that since I can't see you?
Just to comment about how thoroughly you've thought through what kind of customer experience you want and what kind of employee experience you want, which if you don't specify it, then you're just going to be it's going to be by default. So
Yep.
And my thought on that is, what are all of the internal and external feedback loops that reinforce that quality? And you've really given great thought to that.
Yeah, this wasn't a 10-minute document, but this document, it makes everything else we're going to talk about much easier. So the next thing is like a wallet card. This is like basically taking that document and boiling it down to what I call a big 5 at Heartland. And actually we're adding a 6th one, but right now it's the 5. So one is be kind to each other, our guests, and our community. So this is super easy. Like if somebody asks us for a donation, we do it every single time, no questions asked. If we made a mistake, it's super easy. Nobody has to ask me. They know. Because rule number 2 ties to number 1. If we mess up, we fix it up on the spot, no questions asked. Doesn't matter if it was our fault, if it was Grubhub's fault. It doesn't even matter if it's the guest's fault. For example, a good example of this is a lady who wants a gluten-free pizza. She's there on a date on a Friday night, and they say the type of pizza they want, but forget to say gluten-free. We bring the pizza to the table, and it's the wrong kind. They're like, oh, we need gluten-free. You don't even have to ask. Just go back, make the pizza. And here's another little thing we do, and this is another detail. Our standard operating procedure on any pizza that's burned or any misfire goes to the front of the line, no matter if there's 1 ticket or 100 tickets. Because that person's already waited 10 minutes or 15 minutes or a half an hour. The last thing they want to do is be behind 50 or 100 more pizzas, right? So there's a procedure in place for any mess up. It goes right to the front of the line. The next one is all food must be posted on Instagram or it doesn't belong on our tables. So this is a simple rule, and every 15-year-old, 16-year-old, 18-year-old, or 40-year-old can understand this. And this goes into 2 things. One, it goes into product development. So when we develop a new pizza or a new salad, great thought goes into every detail. So example is like our taco pizza. At most restaurants, what kind of lettuce do you get on a taco pizza?
Thin.
You get that crappy iceberg stuff.
Lettuce.
It's cheapest stuff they can find, right? Well, it's white and it's ugly. We use chopped romaine fresh every time. So the difference between that and chopped romaine is a beautiful dark green leafy looking lettuce or some sad looking shriveled up, bag lettuce that looks just terrible. So when we decided that, we also decided on our taco pizza that the tomatoes were going to go on the pizza after it came out of the oven instead of before. 1 for color, 2 for taste and texture, but 3, beautiful red against green made a beautiful photo. So these are like all the details we're thinking about. We have a bacon cheeseburger pizza right now that's getting released next week. It's a release that was in our menu last year. Goes in the vault. But one of the details that we have is it gets extra virgin olive oil around the outside of the edge, and then it gets sesame seeds. All for show. It tastes great, but it's all for show. The other thing is, if a pizza's burned, you got to remake it. It doesn't look good on Instagram. It's a super simple, super easy rule. So if I go in there, I'm like, hey guys, that won't look good for Instagram. They don't even have to, I don't even have to point it out to them. They all know. The other thing is every interaction with should be a 5-star experience every single time. Simple rule. And the last one is we work hard, but we have fun. We don't let each other down. We lend a helping hand when needed. So for instance, we have servers that go in and help with dishes. They'll help with dough making sometimes, because sometimes on a Saturday night, they'll make 400 dough balls at 9 o'clock at night. It's not fun. It stinks. And it takes a couple hours. So by getting the servers to help out, everybody's in it together. But then number 6 we're going to have is going to be if you see something, say something. So like if you see a pizza or a situation that is not the Heartland experience, you have to say something. And because everybody does it and everybody knows it's a rule, it'll make it much easier. Any questions about that document? No? All right.
For me, crystal clear.
Awesome. So this is a cool one. So this is something that we did to highlight our team members, but also start to integrate our guest with our team even more. So we call this the Hearts Behind Heartland. And what we did is every team member, we have a photo of them now. We take this and we laminate it, and it's actually in the front entry of our restaurant. And you will see our guests looking at these as they're coming in and going out of our restaurant. So every team member now has one of these. And then what we're also going to do for our servers, when we can actually have them serving again, is these are going to be like baseball cards. So when the host takes your menu to the table, you're actually going to get one of these that talks about your server. Now, what does that do? It creates instant connection, and it gives 4, 5, or 6 points where you might have an opportunity to open up a conversation. What does that do for the guest? 1, it makes them know a little bit about the person who's going to serve them. 2, it opens up dialogue. 3, for the server, it opens up a huge opportunity to probably get a much larger tip. And because of all this, 1, the guest has a 5-star experience, and 2, the server makes more money, so they're more loyal to us. So like all these things are like stitched together to try and make it a really unique situation, which all ties back to that vision document. Now, this is the Dream Board program. So this comes out of a book called The Dream Manager, and if you haven't read it, I'd highly recommend it. But basically the goal here is to learn up front a little bit about your team and then create these boards. Now, one of the things that we're trying to do with these is to put these up in our restaurant now whenever we get to have guests again, so that our guests actually see these. And like if their son or daughter is 16, 17, 18, or even if they're in their 20s or 30s and looking for a part-time job, they ask what these boards are about. And then we tell them these are our dream boards, and we're all trying to help each other achieve these dreams. So we have 16 questions. I'm not going to go through all of them, but one of them, for instance, is, do you have a vacation you've dreamed about taking? Do you have a charity or nonprofit organization that's important to you? What college or school would you like to attend? Do you have a hobby you'd like to learn more about? Do you have adventures you'd like to take? So before they work a single shift, they have to fill this out. And this tells me and the manager a little bit about our team members. So we're learning about them. Now, my dream board looks like this. Now, one of mine is to be able to go and race the Ironman World Championship. And the only way I'm likely going to be able to do that is by doing 13 races and just giving Ironman enough money that they're like, give me the sympathy pass. Another one of mine is to grant more than 100 wishes to make a wish in my lifetime. Be listed on the Inc. 5000 fastest growing companies with one of my companies. Run a 10K every year with my daughter until I can't run, which is an interesting one. And then I have one of my favorite Steve Jobs quotes on mine. But here's what I'd like to share with you. This is a couple of my team members. So one, her color must have been purple. And one of our questions, if I only had 6 months to live, I would. And hers is skydive. Her dream job would be own a bake shop or coffee shop. And here's what's interesting about this. This girl is awesome. She's a server. But she actually started doing some baking for us now. And we're actually looking at possibly creating Heartland-like bakery goods. And I'm going to talk about those in a little bit. Painting on a canvas. Potentially, yes. And actually, I have the Zingerman's book. I have the Zingerman's book within sight of me. It's less than 5 feet from me. And, she'd like to attend the Super Bowl. Now, here's one of my kids who works for me. He wants to compete in the American Ninja Warrior. He also wants to go to the Super Bowl. He wants to solve a Rubik's Cube. And he wants to go to the moon. And he wishes he could go to Finland. So these are like pretty interesting, right? So what this does is it gives us opportunity to potentially connect him with other people that might have, connections. So as an example, environmental scientist, who knows, I may reach out to Perry someday to connect him with somebody who might be able to lead him in the right direction, because there might be a common connection there. Using my resources to help him achieve something he wants to do, it didn't cost me a dime other than trying to connect maybe him and Perry or him and somebody else that I know inside of my world that could make that happen. So those are little things that we're trying to accomplish. Any questions about these? No? So
No, these are great.
These are cool. Now, here are a few of the other things that we do. So again, remember, we want to be a good community partner. We want to be kind to our guests and to the community. So here's a live video that ties back to all this. So one of the restaurants just down the road from us closed without notice, and two things happened, right? One, the neighborhood is upset because a lot of people just bought gift cards, especially at Christmas. This happened in January, I believe. And two, a bunch of employees got let go all at the same time. So here's what I did. You can see this. This was Monday morning after I had a quick meeting. I don't even have my Heartland gear on. I have my Ironman gear. I hadn't shaved from the weekend. And I went live. 2.5-minute video. Look at the engagement on this. I reached 102,000 people. This was shared 626 times. I took in basically what the message was is, hey, if you have up to $50 in gift cards, I will trade you $50 in gift cards. You bring your $50 gift card to my restaurant, I'll give you a $50, even though I didn't take any pennies in for yours. We took in $12,000 worth of gift cards, but I couldn't have bought for $12,000 everything. Now, we all know here that first off, 30% will probably never come in and use it. So immediately that's down to 8,000. Out of that 8,000, if I have to fulfill all of it, it's probably going to cost me $2,400 in food costs. So this whole promotion cost me $2,400 potentially, probably spread out over a year. So it probably cost me $200 a month for the next year, but I got an instant impact of 100,000 people communicated with for literally nothing right up front. And you can see I got 174 comments, and these people are pumped. Here's the other thing that happened. We had a guy reach out to us who wants to buy $3,000 worth of gift cards instantly for his employees, business owner. So that we picked up right away. We picked up a wedding. We picked up 2 or 3 other events. That all happened literally within 10 days of this promotion. So you got to do all these things. Now, this was one from about go ahead.
You're going to say that's an investment. Those people will be back.
Oh, it was a no-brainer. Everywhere I went for 3 weeks after that, people are like, that was so cool what you did with that. And people still talk about it. But literally, like, I would go into the coffee shop, and the first thing people would say to me is like, hey, I saw what you did with that Grazi's thing. That was pretty cool. I'm like, yeah, that was awesome. But it was an easy decision, right? It was the right thing to do. It made the community a better place. So this was a buy one, get one free thing that we did 2 years ago. In April, it was actually April 14th. I remember like it was yesterday. We got a 2-foot snowstorm, and the whole city was shut down for the weekend. So I went on, I think on Saturday, and I said, hey, we're closing. We'll be back maybe on Sunday, maybe on Monday, but I don't want my team out in this, blah, blah, blah. But on Monday, we're going to do a buy one, get one free pizza offer, because we have food and it spoils, and we were prepped up for the weekend, and now we got a lot of food that we can't sell. And instead of it going bad, I want to sell it to you. Buy one, get one. We literally made a pizza every minute from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. when we literally ran out of dough. We sold $10,000 worth of pizza on a Monday. We only took in obviously 5,000 of that, but it was an incredible thing, and people still talk about it. Now, here's another one. This was from January last year, and I want to point this one out because this is, again, a simple thing to do that didn't cost us anything that went bananas. It was like 50 below with the wind chill. So I just said, hey, it's going to be super cold tomorrow. And I actually did this from an airplane because I was traveling. So there was no photo, no video, no nothing. All I did was, like, it's going to be cold. We have our private party room. If somebody needs to warm up from 10 o'clock to 9 o'clock, you don't have to buy anything. You just stop in, stay warm. We're going to be here anyways. One of our core values is to be kind to the community, and we're positioned to help others who may need a hand tomorrow. So we just tell them exactly the deal, right? And we tell them about our culture. Well, look at what happened. 720 shares, 75,000 people reached, 122 comments. We'll definitely be coming here tomorrow. You guys are awesome, blah, blah, blah. And we just keep stacking these. So now this one happened just recently. So when the shutdown happened, these are friends of ours. Actually, we did their wedding last year. And they're super fans. They're great people, but they decided to close their edible dough shop down because of the situation, right? So what we did was we reached out to them, and I said, hey, Shannon, can we sell your dough? And actually, my GM brought this to me. And basically, she said, hey, we've been thinking about doing wholesale. I said, awesome. We ended up being their first wholesale account, and now we're selling them. But she posted it on her thing. We posted it on theirs. And for now it's 7 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever it's been. We've been selling their dough through our restaurant, and the margins are not great for us, but I can tell you this. It's very frequent that somebody will get 2 doughs and a $50 pizza order. Now, did they order the 2 pizzas because they got the dough, or did they get the dough because they came and got pizza? I don't know on all of them, but I know for certain that this thing was shared hundreds of times, and it was posted by the dough shop and by us, and people love both their company and our company. And just doing doing the right thing, and doing the right thing enough times, continues to stack on top of each other. So it led to us within days, me being on TV, doing a segment about the dough shop and us, and pizza. We've been featured on multiple TV stations for a variety of reasons. And then we also now, this ties back to our vision document also. This is our new pasta operation, fresh food. We are now making all of our own pasta. So instead of what every other restaurant does, we're making it on our own. Now, I'm going to share this before, Perry, if you want to open for questions, you certainly can. This is something we did, one, because we had an email list. And if you don't have an email list and you're not building your list, you're insane. Nobody on this, call probably has this problem, but most business owners do. So we put these Easter cookie kits up. We sold out in 2 days. We did strawberries. They're making these Thursday for Mother's Day. They didn't sell as much, but I think what we've learned is people will spend more on their kids than they will on their mom, unfortunately. But it was still successful. It just wasn't as successful as the Easter cookie kits. With that, Perry, I'd be happy to take questions, comments from you or anybody else.
Well, I just want everybody to notice that very little of this was like some slick marketing technique.
No, there's no slick marketing technique. This is stacking of things off your vision document, and for 3 years, slow and steady, pounding the nail.
Well, I think the closest thing you in this entire presentation to a slick marketing technique was exchanging the gift card from the other restaurant, and that's not a marketing technique. That's just like a really savvy way to buy yourself some customers. So yeah. Well, let's hear from people and type in the question box.
Yeah, pop into your question box. I got a couple questions here already. Yeah, Darren, I just love the question of what are all the self-reinforcing things you do that make people like you and make you like people? and give them a good experience, and make the pizzas look good, smell good, taste good, and be shareable. And it's great. Our note asks, can you explain what marketing team you have and how it is organized?
So I would consider our entire team part of the marketing team, but I can tell you that obviously Perry knows me. I've been most of my adult life, direct marketing person. So I'm most well known for Kids Bowl Free, which, we've had 30 million kids participate. So I have my marketing company, which we have put up landing pages. But honestly, the majority of it is Darren with his cell phone to a URL that opts them into my Friday newsletter. Every Friday, we send out one email. That email every week generally has me doing a little relationship building and stuff that we are doing in the restaurant. Certainly, if you want to follow along, you can sign up for our birthday club. You can see my weekly Friday email. But really, that's it. We have one opt-in form. We have a Friday email. And then, we'll do Valpak on occasion. We do every door direct mail, but it's not much more complicated than that.
It's wonderful.
Impressive.
Very simple, very local. Christopher asks, can you say something about your 15-step hiring survey?
Yeah, so we have some ads that we run that are really direct response, right? It's like, hey, if you smoke, you like to be lazy, you're not going to be a fit here. Some of the hiring sites don't like my ads, so I've had some trouble there because it's like you're going to be a fit somewhere else. But we try to have unique ads, number one. That then takes them to, they have to fill out a form that is an online form that asks them 5 or 6, 7 questions. That's a little different. Then it goes to my GM. She sends them an email that basically says, here are 3 times that I have available to meet. Reply to me with one of the 3 that will work for you to see if they reply. We probably lose 70% of them by that point. Then they meet with her, and depending upon the person's level, then they may come to me or they may come to another manager on our team for a second interview. But really what we're trying to look for is a culture fit. I really don't care if they've ever thrown dough in their life. We can teach you that in 3 minutes. What I can't teach you is I can't teach you to be kind. I can't teach you to be friendly. I can't teach you to be interested in food. So we're really trying to look for a culture fit more than we are a tactical technique fit. And in fact, most of the people that I would say have high skills that we've hired have been our worst hires. They have bad habits that have been reinforced for a very long time. And some of my best hires are people that have never been in a kitchen before, other than they like to cook at home, but they're friendly people. So that's kind of our process. And we try to get them back for, that second interview, which weeds out another portion of them.
Yeah. No, that's excellent. Lots of shotgun racking there. By the way, Darren, be sure and send that PDF to me, and I'll make sure that gets posted in the members area because our members are requesting that. Sounds great.
I will send it right after we're done.
Kelly asks, Darren, when you think back to the first days of your business, how much of this philosophy did you have?
Because I've had a number of businesses, and because I've been a believer in the Disney philosophy for much of my adult life. Like, I am much more of the let's charge them the right price and give them a great experience than I am over the Walmart. In fact, anytime we have problems, it is what I call the $5 pizza customer who belongs at Little Caesars or Pizza Hut. and they're not our customer. They're not our guest. We work very hard not to attract them into our world. We are very intentional about who we do try to attract. We do know a fair amount about our guests through our, Facebook research and other tools that we know about. So we built Heartland Pizza Company very intentionally. So it started actually before day one. Now, a couple things that we've adjusted to, I can tell you, is we have built a pretty big following of vegan superfans, kind of by accident. And we have built a pretty big following of gluten-free superfans, somewhat by accident. Now, I would say 7 out of every 10 orders we have one or the other. Not the whole order is gluten-free or vegan, but one of the items on 7 out of 10 orders is one or the other.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was very intentional.
So that emerged and you had no way of predicting that, but it's worked for you.
No, but now that we know that, there are not very many people that serve the vegan community and give them much more than lettuce. So we have added
Not in Green Bay, Wisconsin, anyway.
No, I mean it's very limited. So we all of our dressings except for one are vegan. All of our pizza sauces except for a specialty pizza are vegan. Our crusts are vegan. They have been from the start. We have a vegan cheese now that's both soy-free and dairy-free. And we continue to look for new options that are unique to them, because the one thing about them, as marketers, right, what are we looking for? We're looking for that rabid crowd. And the folks who are vegan are very rabid. And if you take care of them and you show them that you're actually listening and you actually do cool things, they share it crazy.
Darren, this has been wonderful. I knew back in October when you shared this with our roundtable that this was something that our new Renaissance people needed to hear. We're at the 59, 60-minute mark here, but this is exactly what I knew our members needed to see. Email that PDF to me. I will stick it in the members area as soon as I can. And Perry, anything else you want to add?
Well, you just notice that when you're this intentional about creating a fantastic customer experience, it's really irresistible to be to do business with you. And also notice that if I said, hey, what is Darren's USP? There isn't like this one elevator speech,
right,
bumper sticker slogan. Okay, it's more like the most meticulously crafted pizza in Green Bay, Wisconsin, with absolute bend over backwards delight the customer. I mean, maybe it would be that. And guess what? You get a worldwide pandemic when most restaurants are gasping for breath, and Darren is kicking ass.
Yeah, it's been great, but obviously, it's not for lack of effort. But I would tell everybody, no matter what business you're in, because Perry, as you know, I've got a number of investments. We try to do this exercise for every company, and you got to start with the quote end in mind, and that vision document makes it so much easier. So like if my manager reaches out to me for a decision, I'm like, Sarah, you know what to do. If somebody in the kitchen asks for something, I'm like, you guys know what to do. Like, this is super easy. We had a vendor, for instance, reach out to us with something that was a pre-made sauce of sorts. Like, you know not to bring that in here. And it just makes all of your decision making so much easier. But you got to spend probably 20, 30, 40 hours of time up front to really craft that document so it makes the rest of your life easier.
Beautiful.
Perry, thank you.
Hey, I hope you're all inspired by this, man. We bring you some of the best people in the world, and being the best in Green Bay, Wisconsin is This is not splitting atoms. It's just meticulously caring about quality. So very nice, Darren. It's a pleasure. It's an honor.
Perry, have a great day. All right, Brian, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thanks,
everybody.
everyone. Bye
Take
now.
care.